Filming the cats?
Yeah, they're part of the meeting.
That's true. They were here before us.
My name is Jasmine. For those of you I don't know, I know most of you. The holidays actually kind of start next week, which blows my mind. Just go around and say your name and say one thing you do to take care of yourself or to avoid activist burnout, starting here.
And avoiding activist burnout, I actually have a lot of questions about how to do that effectively.
So we'll check in with you again in about an hour, and you'll have the answer then. Think about this. Think about what your goal is. Is it to instigate? Yes. Is it to fight, or is it to inspire? Is it to be the change? Is it to lead by example? Remember, you might be the only vegan this person's ever met. We have a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. My responsibility is to all of you. Your responsibility is to all of us. And our responsibility is to all of the animals.
You know, my aunt says things like, well, I don't know what you're eating now. And it hurts my feelings when she says it that way. And then I get a call from my other aunt who's hosting, and she said, well, I don't know what you're eating these days, which means they're talking and just using the same language. So they're talking about me, which is, you know, it's shocking for them, you know, because I've only been a vegetarian for a few years, 4 years. And now I'm you know, full vegan. So so I'm going, and I hate cooking. I really hate cooking, but I'm gonna, you know, cook a few things and bring.
Carol Adams, who wrote Living Among Meat Eaters, actually says that you shouldn't bring this up at the table.
Right.
I don't actually agree with that necessarily. I think that it really depends on the situation. But
Why do any of us bring it up, though?
well,
I
they
haven't once brought it up
but
at
this is the
dinner
thing.
table.
Jen was saying that someone else is probably going to bring it up.
Right. It's always somebody else. It's
You
always
could
me.
say, I'd rather not discuss
I
this
feel like
right
you're
now.
I tend not to talk about those things at the table, mostly because I think that, especially if the person is attacking me or is trying to get a rise out of me by how they're saying it, and you can usually read that by how they're saying it, like, well, why would you do that? Or something, and then I wouldn't respond and wouldn't engage them. Or I'll just say, you know, I'd love to speak to you about this another time, you know.
It's been a really big emotional issue for me because one of my relatives has invited my vegetarian boyfriend and vegan self to Thanksgiving. We're the only guests, and she's serving a turkey. So I'm really kind of upset because who is the turkey for? It was for the host, not for anyone else. And I'm really upset about it, and I've been deciding all week, like, do I say something? Do I not show up? She knows I leafleted for turkeys the other day. Like, what is she doing? But I think when I came down to it, she is an animal lover, a companion animal lover, and she always says she loves animals and she admires what I'm doing, and I think that I've come to terms with it that if I embarrass her over this at Thanksgiving or hurt her feelings or give her any negative vegetarian, vegan ideas in her mind, it's going to turn her away from it. And she really, if someone really loves animals and says nice things about what you're doing in your life, they really are on their own path, and you just have to kind of lead by it. So.
Right. Along the lines of what you're saying, I've made things in the past for my family when I still lived in the same state as them, and I refused to tell them what was in stuff. I was like, just try it, because my family's so close-minded. If they know, like, all I would say is there's no animal products. And so my aunt, who is like, you know, loves to cook, she's like, oh, is there eggs in it? I'm like, no, eggs surprisingly are an animal product. Is there yogurt in it? Is there cheese in it? Back to yogurt, sour cream, like all this stuff. And I just refused. I just said no. And so everybody tried it. My uncle, who would like never in a million years ever eat tofu, he tried it. I made this like macro stuffed tofu like thing with stuff in it. Anyhow, and he tried it, and he even asked for seconds.
You want to be sure to take care of yourself. I think it was actually you who said that you feel like you're yourself when you're eating your vegetables. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you can eat crap too, but also eat kale, like have your cake and your kale, and you might just take better care of yourself. Stay hydrated constantly. Just stay hydrated. So you want to take care of yourself physically, but you also want to do something that has nothing whatsoever to do with your activism, something that's really fun, something that's really, not that activism can't be fun, because activism is fun, oftentimes. It can be very fun. And but I'm talking about something totally different, like watching The Biggest Loser, or watching SpongeBob, or going to yoga, or just doing something for yourself, both physically and mentally. So you want to take care of each other, go that extra step for one another, because we do, care about one another, not just animals, despite what they say about us. And find a safe space where you can really be yourself and nurture yourself and feel good about your activism. Another thing is you might want to tap into your creativity. Remember when at last month's meeting, how many of you made those signs, the Frankie Says Go Veg signs? Okay, like kindergarten project. I loved it. I felt so good about cutting and gluing, right? Like it felt so good. Just do something with your hands where you're not focused on the computer or on your phone. Take your Bluetooth out every once in a while. Just, walk around the block like you do, and then you just keep walking and walking and walking. Just make sure you take 10 breaths. Honestly, if you have a lot to do, you're going to do better at it if you stop and go outside and get some fresh air and note to self. Sometimes it's going to suck anyway. That's just life, but you'll get through it. Just take care of yourself, and if there's people around you who are taking care of you, then you can rely on them. And switch up your activism if you need to. Like sometimes if you're only doing like anti-foie gras stuff, switch it up to like maybe a positive message, like a yes campaign, like our Veg for Life campaign, for example. Or switch it up to like a human rights cause that directly pertains to animal rights.
Okay, so maybe I'll think about that. Maybe I'll think about
That's great.
think about the leafleting I'll have done the day before flying out to Arizona.
I always like it when someone takes a leaflet, they just sort of take it and then you just see them walking away like, and then sometimes they'll stop, and they'll be like, and you just see the process happening, and then every now and then they'll come back and say, can I have more, so that I can give it to my office or whatever, and I just think that that right there is why it's worth it.